Are live. So, Diego, will you start by telling us your full name and just start with some of your background experience?
Uh, my name is Diego Saiz, and I am an industrial engineer. And I have several years, 10 to 14 years, I think it is, of experience doing process improvement. That usually requires also implementing the improvement ideas, so it's also a lot of project management. I have a degree in industrial engineering, industrial organization from the Spanish University, which is very mechanically minded too. And well, I've worked in many places in Spain, in England, and now I am sitting here in New Jersey, in the US. The last thing that I'm doing right now is I am working for Ports America. It's an stevedoring company. We take care of the, the activities of the vessels coming in and out of the ports and loading and unloading containers, cargo, even people with the cruise companies. And I do analyze whatever is going on, and we come with recommendations. I lead a team of people into coming with recommendations to improve whatever is being done and see whether we can do it more effectively, cheaper, or with less interruptions, less mistakes. We don't want to lose any containers. We don't want to let any container out that we have drugs or something illegal or dangerous. So all that needs to be very well taken care of. Right now, I'm taking care of the East Coast and the Gulf region, and I am responsible for saving $2.5 million to this company in this year. Before this, I've done many things. I worked with Barnes& and Noble in a distribution center doing similar things, and with Maersk, I was the technical director of a toxic waste refinery back in England, and I also developed telephones for Sony Ericsson. In there, what I was doing more than just developing the phone, there I was working with some telecom engineers. They would make one phone or one electronic device. We invented the equivalent of what now OnStar uses on the cars to call if you have an accident and you're unconscious and can't make yourself the call. The telecom engineers and the electronics engineers will make one of those, and then they'll talk to me about how do we make many of these, how do we replicate all this on industrial scale and make it very cheap and work cheap, let's say affordable. So that's pretty much what I've been doing all my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a really
Okay.
amazing resume. So,
Good.
did you initially contact Martin, or How did we get connected together?
You know what? I sent an email because I saw about your organization. I saw something in magazines, and then I went online and I thought this could be a very interesting thing. And I sent an email. It said there on the website that you guys were looking for project managers, and I thought if I can help, here I am. And then somebody called me, and today is the day that we're talking
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
I think it was Tom that I talked to.
Yeah, Tom Bamford.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So, if we were to work together, what possibilities are there in terms of how would you like to work with open source ecology potentially?
Well, that's one of the things that I was trying to find out. What is that I could do for you? What is that you guys really need me to do for you? And how can I help you uh, to do anything that you have in mind?
Okay.
Me, I don't know. I'm very open to possibilities, and I'm just exploring.
Okay, so you want more of a general orientation into the job roles that we're looking for. I think one of the jobs I could see you filling is we're looking for a products director. So this is somebody who would manage a subset of project managers
Okay.
for the development of the rest of the platform.
Uh huh.
Our platform is 50 tools, and it covers everything from manufacturing to energy production, transportation, construction, and agriculture. And
Do you still see me well? Because that's where I'm at in me. And
you
I
got
turn them on.
We're still live. We're still good.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive set of tools,
Okay.
um, and we have four in beta release. Which beta release is a process that goes from concept design to prototyping, field testing, and then finally documentation. And our
Okay.
documentation platform is what allows other people to take these machines and the designs for them and build them anywhere in the world. And
Oh,
the documentation includes everything from instructional videos to CAD designs, fabrication drawings,
okay.
design rationale, user manuals, all of that. And then Marchin is actually breaking this process down
Mhm.
into a system that can be replicated for technologies beyond the GVCS, because our ultimate goal is to develop an entire open source economy.
Okay.
So, because our the way that the process is going to unfold is we're developing the product development pipeline, and we're going to test it on a single machine, and then
Okay.
once we document that and get data points on that, we want to scale it so that we can simultaneously have many teams with different project managers developing multiple tools simultaneously. So
Okay.
I could see your probably best fit would be managing the project managers. So you'd be coordinating different teams and overseeing
Okay.
the grand process with Marchin. And you would also help him with the technical development and set the direction for the organization.
All
Um,
right.
so we are looking for someone to play along at that level. Is that something that you're interested in pursuing potentially?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's actually somehow related to what I did back in the day, actually at the beginning of my career, when I was developing the phones and the electronic devices for Ericsson, because I had to coordinate the guys who were actually doing the development, and then we had to outsource them to manufacturing facilities out of Ericsson, some contractors. So it was a lot of documenting how we got to where we got and making sure that the things that these other guys were replicating were the way we had intended, and they didn't make any of the mistakes and that we made when we were getting there, and everything was very consistent. It was a little, let's say, no, a little boring, or more ton of documentation, ISO compliance, and this and that. But it didn't really bother me that much. It wasn't all the action, just putting things together. It was a lot of being on top of things, making sure we were making all the steps, and we had something that we call the time to market, which was the time you had to develop a product from concept to is good now is out there in the customer's hand, and we worked to shorten that because that's when your revenue starts. So that's something that I was doing back in the day, and but somehow it stayed with me all through the career because I have that sense of urgency now. All the projects need to happen timely, and you need to be on top of it. One thing that I also think it could be a good asset is the fact that I don't know how you guys are planning on doing this, but right now I don't have any formal authority over the people that I work with. I'm not anybody's boss, so I still have the responsibility over the project coming out and the millions of dollars coming into the bottom line. But it all needs to happen remotely because I happen to sit in New Jersey, but I take care of all these other facilities, and also it's a lot of inspiring somebody or trying to influence them because you can't tell them, well, you go and do it. They have also other jobs or day jobs, not only this project. And well, that may be one thing that fits with your organization. I don't know what plan you have for it, so just putting that there.
Okay, I had a hard time understanding some of that last minute of conversation. So you were saying that where you are right now, you said you don't have people working under you, and so it's. Can you just summarize that part again?
Yeah, I don't have direct reports to me. I work with, I have 8 builds that I mentor, and they work with bigger teams, like 5 to 7 people in each one of those teams, but I don't have authority over them. I just have to influence them to do the things. I can't tell them, stop doing this, start doing that. I have to kind of make sure that the project happens, but I don't have formal authority over the.
Okay. Do you have experience managing teams? Sounds like you
Yeah,
do, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. You're just saying currently you don't have a team that you
yeah,
manage.
which
Okay.
I found interesting because sometimes you do have the experience, but things happen because you're the boss. And you tell into the teams and they suck it up and do it. But this doesn't work like that in here. In here, I'm not the boss. And in other places, I haven't been the boss either. So I see the difference between the time when you are and when you're not, and both are interesting.
And yet you were still, without being in that position of authority, you were still able to manage the process and cut $2 million from the operating costs. Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's what we're trying to do now, and that one is still coming.
Okay.
It happened in other companies, but it's exactly like that.
Okay. Are you so? If we work this out, would you be able to be on site in Missouri? Would you move to the process, or would you want to do it remotely?
Uh, if well, I guess that right now I like to do one thing at a time, and I don't mind going there for some time and learning and seeing and staying there. But moving all the way there, jumping not only head first into the whole thing. If I could do it in stages, I think it would be better.
Okay. Great. Okay. So let me think about where we want to go with this. I've got a list of questions that Marchin has sent out to other candidates for the same position.
Okay.
And will you take a look at those questions and then just type out your responses and then
Sure.
send them to me in an
Yeah.
email?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll send those to you, and then Marchin's gonna want to meet with you again on Friday. Is that
Okay.
is that possible?
Let me check right now. What does Friday look like? What time will that be? The whole afternoon looks good.
Your afternoon. Okay, let me before we get to that, do
Mm-hmm.
you have any final things you want to ask or say before I stop recording?
No. Well, anything that you can explain me about what you guys have in mind and where do you want to take this and how you want to do it, all the information that I can gather, the more the merrier. But it doesn't need to be happening now.
Okay. Do you have any experience with agile or scrum styles of project management?
Mm, no.
Okay,
It doesn't sound familiar.
that's okay. The other thing, it sounds like you have a pretty broad professional network of people that you could get involved for small ways of like being an advisor, or if we needed something here or there. It seems like you've made lots of connections over the years. So if we need some kind of remote collaboration, you could probably pull from a pretty broad
Yeah.
network of resources. Is that right?
Yeah, and I do keep the contact. They're always handy. They can always come handy.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, so I'm gonna stop recording and then stay on the line, and we'll
Okay.
set up a meeting for Friday.
All right. Good.
Okay, 1 second.